Helen Wright by Charles Bukowski, Chapter 50. Everybody had a gym period at the same time. Bally's locker was about 4 or 5 down from mine in the same round. I went to my locker early. Baldy and I had a similar problem. We had wool pants because the wool itched our legs, but our parents just loved for us to wear wool. I had solved the problem for Baldi and myself by leading him on a secret. All you had to do was to wear your pajamas underneath the wool pants. I opened my locker and undressed. I got my pants and pajamas off and then I took the pajamas hid them on top of the locker. I got into my game suite. The other guys were starting to working. Baldi and I had some great yeah, stories, but Baldi's was the best. Underneath the wool pants. Uh, sorry. Stories, great pajama stories, but Baldi's was the best. He had been out with his girlfriend one night. They had gone to some dance. In between dance, his girlfriend had said, "What's that? What's what? What's what? There's something sticking out of your pant cuff. What? My goodness! You are wearing your pajamas underneath your pants. Oh, oh, that I must have forgotten. I'm leaving right now." She never dated him again. All the guys were changing into their gym clothes. The Baldy walked in and opened his locker. How you doing, Paul? I asked him. Oh, hello, Ham. I began at 7 a.m. English class. It really starts the day out right. Only they know to call it music appreciation. I, oh yeah, Hamilton. I heard of him, he. I walked over to him. Baldy had unbuckled his pants. I reached over and yanked his pants down. Underneath were green striped pajamas. He tried to yank his pants back up, but it was too strong for him. Hey fellas, look, Jesus Christ, here's a guy who wears his pajamas to school. Baldy was struggling. His face was florid. A couple of guys walked over and looked. Then I did the worst. I yanked his pajamas down. And looky here. The poor fucker. He's not only bald, but he doesn't hardly have a cook. What is the poor fucker going to do when he confronts a woman? Some big guy standing nearby said, "Chinaski, you're really a piece of shit." "Yeah," said a couple of the other guys. Yeah, I heard other voices. Bali pulled his pants up. He was actually crying. He looked at the guys. "Well, Chinaski, wear pajamas too." Pajamas. He was the guy who started me doing it. Look at it. Look at in his locker. Just look in his locker. Bali ran down to my locker and ripped the door open. He pulled at my clothing out. The pajamas weren't in there. He's hiding them. He's hidden them somewhere. I left my clothes on the floor and walked out on the field for roll call. I stood in the second round. I did a couple of deep knee bends. I noticed another big guy behind me. I'd heard his name around. Sholon Stodolsky. "Chinaski," he said, "you're a piece of shit. Don't mess with me, man." I begat an action nature. "Well, I'm messing, messing with you. Don't push me too far, fat boy. You know the place between the biology building and the tennis courts? I've seen. I'll meet you there after gym." "Okay," I said. I didn't show up after gym. I I cut the I cut the rest of my classes and took the streetcars down the Pershing Square. I sat on a bench and waited for some action. I seemed a long time coming. Finally, a relationist and the atheist got into it. They weren't much good. It was an agnostic. Agnostic didn't have much to argue about. I left the park and walked down to 7th Broadway. That was the center of town. There didn't seem to be much doing there, just people waiting for the signals to change so they could cross the street. I noticed my legs were starting to itch. I had left my pajamas on top of the locker. What a fucking losing day I had been from beginning on to end. I hopped a W streetcar and sat in the back as it rolled along, carrying me back toward home. Chapter 51. I only meet one student at City College that I like, Robert Becker. He wants to be a writer. I'm going to learn everything there is to learn about writing. It will be like taking a car apart and putting it back together again. Sounds like work, I said. I'm going to do it. Becker was an inch or so shorter than I was, but the hat was stocky. He was powerful with big shoulders and arms. I had a childhood disease. He told me I had to lay in bed one time for a year squeezing two tennis balls, one in each hand, just from doing that. I got to be like this. He had a job as a messenger boy at night and was putting himself through college. How do you get your job? I knew a guy who knew a guy. I'll be, I'll bet I can kick your ass. Maybe, maybe not. I'm only interested in writing. We were sitting in an alcove overlooking the lawn. Two guys were staring at me. Then one of them spoke. Hey, he asked me, do you mind if I ask you something? Go ahead. Well, you used to be CC Grammar School. I remember you. And now you're a tall guy. What happened? I don't know. Are you a cynic? Probably. Are you happy being a cynic? Yes. Then you're not a cynic because cynics aren't happy. The two guys did a little bit vaudeville handshake act and ran off laughing. They made you look bad, said Becker. No, they were trying too hard. Are you a cynic? I am unhappy. If I was a cynic, it would probably make me feel better. We hopped down from the alcove. Classes were over. Becker went to put his books in his locker. We walked there and he dumped them in. He handed me 5 or 6 sheets of paper. He read this. It's a short story. We walked down to my locker. I opened it and handed him a paper bag. Take a hit. It was a bottle of port. Becker took a hit, then I took me. You always keep one of these in your locker? He asked. I tried to. Listen, tonight's my night off. Why don't you come meet some of my friends? People don't do me much good. There are these are different people. Yeah, where at? Your place? No, here I'll write down the address. He began reading on a piece of paper. Listen, Becker, what do these people do? Drink, said Becker. I put the slip into my pocket. That night after dinner, I read Becker's short story. It was good and I was jealous. Jealous. It was about reading his bike at night and then delivering a telegram to a beautiful woman. The reading was objective and clear. There was a gentle decency about it. Becker claimed to Thomas Wolfe as an influence, but he didn't wait and ham it up like Wolfe did. The emotion was there, but it wasn't spelled out in neon. Becker could write. He could write better than I could. My parents had gotten me a typewriter, and I had tried. some short stories, but they had come out very bitter and ragged. Not that not that was so bad, but the stories seemed to be they didn't have their own vitality. My stories were darker than Berger's Stranger, but they didn't work well. One or two of them had worked for me, but it was more or less as if they had fallen into place instead of being created there. Baker was clearly better. Maybe I tried painting.